Welcome to Mishna study. Masechet Kilayim, Perek Aleph, Mishna Aleph. We just finished the introduction. Now we're going to jump into this first Mishnah. We're going to speak about grains that are not Kilayim with one another. If we have these types of grains, these aren't considered Kilayim. And let's jump through it. Ha-Haytim v'hazunim, enam Kilayim ze bazeh. Ha-Se'orim v'shibolet shu'al. Ha-Kusmim v'hashifon. Ha-Pol v'hasapir. Ha-Purkedan v'hatofiach. Ful halavan v'hashawit. Enam Kilayim ze bazeh. So if you have all these, we'll just explain what they are according to Rambam. Zunim is it's a type of wheat. Well, first of all, wheat and zunin. Zunin is, some explain it's like a darnel. It's a cheap type of wheat that the ground changes a little bit. It defects it a little, and that's why we call it zunin, because it was zoneh. Rambam calls the pasuk libam hazoneh from Yechezkel. It veered off its path. Right, similar to the language of a zonah, right? It veers off a path, and so these, this type of, it's a cheap type of wheat that veered off its path. Well, if you plant the two of them together, wheat and the zunin, they're not kilayim with one another. If you plant shibolet shu'al, right, which is oats, and kusmin is spelt, right? Spelt and se'orim, I'm back up. If it says se'orim, you plant se'orim barley and shibolet shu'al, which is oats, right? It seems like on Rambam over here, or you could look up what this Arabic translation is, like how he translates this word. But I'll go with the more standard translation of oats. So if you're planting barley and shibolet shu'al, so these, Rambam says, by the way, that it's a se'orah midbarit, it's a type of like a barley, family that grows in the wilderness. These are not kilayim with one another. Or kusmin is spelt. If you plant spelt and chiffon is rye. Chiffon is rye. So you plant spelt and rye. That's not kilayim with one another. Right? All these we're going to say they're like part of the same species. Except in this case, this last case, which is spelt and rye. Rambam says spelt is a type of species of wheat. Rye is a type of species of, comes from the species of barley, right? So now you may question, so why are they not kilayim with one another? And Rambam says because they're similar in appearance, which is interesting, right? Because according to Rambam, you see over here that you're allowed to plant, of course, you're allowed to plant two different species, you're allowed to plant a single species together, right? So you have a wheat, a cheaper type of wheat, you can plant those together. But over here, you have a type of species of wheat and a type of species of barley that he's saying, and we're allowed to plant it together because they look similar, because of their appearance, right? That's an interesting chidush of Rambam over here. And that's why these aren't kilayim with one another. Or if you have ful, right? Ha-pol v'asapir, right? Ful is a fava bean, sapir is a chickpea, right? So if you plant those two together, those are also not kilayim with one another. If you have purkedan and tofiach, right? That's the purkedan are bitter peas. Tofiach we mentioned is vetchling, right? Those are also not kilayim with one another. Ful halavan and sho'it, right? So ful halavan, it's a full of white ful. Sho'it is a Rambam says lubie, right? Lubie, right? All these are not kilayim with one another. Meaning what? Each of these pairs are not kilayim with one another. Right? Don't think that the barley is not kilayim with the vetchling. Of course, that's kilayim with one another, right? The se'orim and shibolet shu'al are not kilayim, and the kusmi and the chiffon are not kilayim. Right? Each one of these pairs are not kilayim with one another. And yeah, that sums up our first Mishnah.